Okay. And in terms of configurability and parameter settings, I think these are some of the options, again, that you have possible for you that Garmin gives, our LabFront platform gives along with the Garmin's sort of SDK. In terms of choosing whether to do the ZCM, energy, or the TAT threshold, actually, you don't have to choose between all, choose between the three because Garmin enables all three to be simultaneously obtained for this particular Actigraphy 1 setting. But however, if you're really interested, ZCM has been used for Kolkriki, SADATE, and the USCSD algorithm. The energy method has been used for ActiWatch, can also be used for the USCSD algorithm. And TAT is largely used only in the UCSD algorithms. So there is some opportunity here to use TAT in ways that hasn't been done before. We talked about the filter path, and I'm not going to go into too much detail again about that. But you have the option of choosing FN pre and FN post, but again, recognizing that there are some compatibility issues between, let's just say, FN pre and CCM. Now, when it comes to choosing Epoch window size, whenever possible, my opinion is to opt for shorter windows. And the reason is simple. While you can always aggregate data from smaller windows into larger ones, you can't do the reverse. And since our activity measures are linear and additive, it's really straightforward to combine multiple, let's say 5-second epochs into 60-second windows if needed. However, if you initially record 60-second epochs, there's no way to back that down into more granular 5-second resolution later. And so this flexibility in data analysis makes shorter epoch windows a more versatile choice for research, but it has the disadvantage of having larger data volume and thus longer data transfer times for the participants. So it would take longer sync time when the person's on our mobile app. And so again, this just shows you that this applies to all the three windows because it's simply additive. You could choose the smaller windows if you wanted to. Now, finally, the filter configuration. The Butterworth filter enables us to choose the frequency range, and it gets a little complicated here. And again, this is something where you'll have to reach out to us to establish what settings or what parameters that you would need to coefficients into this equation to choose the frequency bands that you're trying to go for. But from my physiological understanding, when it comes to movement, it could probably be divided into two frequency bands. One that's lower frequency, which is from 0.3 to 3 hertz, and this captures sustained physical activities like walking and slow movement, and it identifies sort of overall activity patterns and daily rhythms. High frequency guards more like 2 to 12 hertz and captures more rapid movements, tremors, or shorter bursts of activity. And it could be useful for specific types of movements or behaviors, maybe something that has to do with some sort of periodic limb movements or some type of run behavior disorders, or people like acting out their dream, for instance. So again, we have these three options possible. I would have to say that the options are probably the combination of one with FN pre with lower frequencies. A second is FN post with lower frequencies. And a third option would be to have FN pre with higher frequencies to capture sort of that rapid, specific behavioral movements. And because our Actigraphy features basically generates 9 features, so 3 for each settings, you could really utilize that type of data and train it to your needs and apply your specific algorithm if you wanted to. But again, this does require some kind of gold standard to measure it against. But this does expand your option when it comes to doing Actigraphy research.